I was looking for some news articles today, and I found on Google um, a lesser known story. It happened about 2 or 3 days ago, and it's not one that I think the mainstream media would cover. They might put it down in the ticker at the bottom of the TV, or they might have the anchor give it a 10-second mention, but no further coverage than that. And the story was that Golden Dawn had their headquarters bombed. And for those of you who aren't listeners, or who've never heard of Golden Dawn is the Greek political party um, that up until a few years ago they were on the fringe of Greek politics. They never got many votes or had people elected, and there's good reason for that, because their platform is a nationalist platform, one that rejects immigrants on the basis that they're immigrants and nothing else. And it's often referred to as a neo-Nazi party, though they claim that the Golden Dawn Party claims that definition is unfair. I don't think it is, because if you look at some of the imagery and the symbolism that they use, they'll incorporate swastika type symbols, fascist imagery. They always put images about maybe old myths about the nation, about the glory of the people or whatever, and they try and use those to promote their political agenda of not liking immigrants, not liking racial minorities or homosexuals or people who aren't religious. Whatever the case, it's a platform of hatred. That's their platform, and their headquarters has been bombed. And this is not the first time that their headquarters has been bombed. It's been attacked before. I don't know how many headquarters they have, but they've had other buildings bombed in the past. But this one was in Athens. And, well, if you look at why Golden Dawn is even gaining power in the first place, you can see that right now what we have in Greece is a imitation of the German situation in the 20s and the early 30s, where Germany was in a state of economic collapse, and based on that, the political parties at the fringe, namely the Nazis and the Communists, were wrestling for control because no one trusted the corrupt establishment politicians anymore, and that was a breeding ground for communist and Nazi thought. And eventually we know what happened there. The Nazis beat out the Communists through a combination of ballot box victories and intimidation. And of course there was plenty of intimidation on the Communist side too, but for whatever reason that did not go well for the Communists there. And now in Greece we have Golden Dawn on the far right, and then you have a lot of far left parties that are rejecting the global neoliberal agenda, and the radicals on both sides are fighting it out. And I would bet that the person who bombed them was probably a radical left type terrorist. That's probably who it was. I don't know if there will ever be a conviction or someone will be tried on it, but that is most likely what occurred. And the bombing is not surprising, because Greece is a nation that was affected by World War II, and the Nazis came in and there were atrocities there. So a lot of the World War II experience is still in the memories of the Greek people. Most of the people who were directly affected are now gone or dead, but it's passed down from generation to generation, and I'm sure that a lot of Greeks who are alive now heard from their parents about what it was like to live during wartime, and for that reason they were turned off to Nazi or nationalist ideas. And now we have a younger generation that is economically distressed, and they're more likely to pick up on these Nazi ideas because they need something to turn to. And a lot of the Greek youths, they don't have any economic skills that they can apply to create success for themselves, because the socialist policies of the Greek government have coddled them for a long time, and that prevented them from creating a successful economy, and now a lot of them are getting involved in the Golden Dawn nonsense, and there are modern day brown shirts in the Golden Dawn party, young thugs who go out and attack immigrants. This has been a problem recently with the U.S. State Department has issued travel advisories. They're starting to warn people about possible attacks against immigrants because of all of the nationalist sentiment in Greece. So if the shit really does hit the fan in Greece, if there's a prolonged economic collapse, it's possible that either the Golden Dawn types or the radical leftist types could eventually gain power. That's a scary thought, but one thing is for sure: as the economy continues to deteriorate, or if it continues to deteriorate, I'm of the opinion that it will, there will be many more bombings and probably much more violence from the Golden Dawn party, as well as the people on the opposite end of the political spectrum that are calling for a communist Greece. Thanks for watching, and I'll post up the article in the description as I always do.